appreciate your all being here. My name is Warren Rumack. I'm the board chair for York Central Hospital, and my pleasure to be the MC for this ceremony. When I was asked to say a few words at the beginning, it occurred to me that a number of years ago, when we were looking over one of the committee's recommendations, we saw the protocols for organ donations. At that time, I was really surprised because I saw the age range within which people could donate organs. I think many people, maybe not those here, but many people think that organ donations are something that happens to young people who are in accidents or violent crimes and stuff like that. But that's not the case, and I know that the protocols have changed. I'm told that it's no longer age-driven necessarily. That's one of the things that matters. But I just thought for a second I would run over a couple of the protocols which I'm told are about 10 years old but may still apply. For instance, kidneys can be given by people from age 1 to age 70. Livers for people from 6 months to 55. Heart from age 1 to 40 for males and 45 for females. Lung from age 1 to 50. Heart and lung together 1 to 40. An eye and cornea, no age limit. Bone 16 to 70 years. Heart valves 2 months to 55 years. There's a broad range of ages, and I think that might go a long way if people were to become aware not only of the importance of organ donations, but of the fact that almost anybody can sign or arrange for their organs to be donated. And that would be a wonderful thing, of course. My first job this afternoon is to introduce to you the guest of honor. And will say a few words to us, Mr. George Marcello.
Thank you. I want to mention everybody did great out there. We all made it in one piece, too. It looks like nobody's tired, right? You all still got a lot of energy? Okay, good. Maybe I can take you with me tomorrow. Anyways, today is day 48 of our 527-day walk. So, how many days do I got left? Who's good in mathematics? 452? I got 452 days left to go. No big deal. I'm kind of looking at it as I got 5 times as much to do as my Ontario walk. I did that in 100 days. So it's just 5 times. It makes it a little bit easier. So while we're going from community to community, I want to mention that we've been getting some really excellent responses. I think what we've been feeling is that Canadians are ready to respond to this. You know, as soon as they hear that we're the lowest organ donating country, a lot of Canadians have been coming forward. Well, what can we do about that? You know, and you know, at present we're telling them that, well, first of all, you know, think about signing your donor card, and then expressing your wish to your family. But also, if you can, talk about this at work with your fellow workers. Talk about this at school. Talk about this with your minister, you know, so that you feel really morally and ethically comfortable with this. And sometimes take a walk to the hospital and see if you can visit some of the people on the waiting list, and you know, you'll really see what this is all about. And I'm very confident that we're going to be able to do a lot better in the next few years. I think Canada was kind of caught in a situation where there was only very small groups that were addressing this problem, and we didn't get the attention of the larger groups. You know, we really didn't have that much government involvement. We haven't had big corporations doing anything about it. Before media, people weren't really saying anything, and I think that's all changing. I think as you know, we're finding out as we're going from community to community, people are realizing that there's a crisis going on here, and we need everybody to respond to this, and that's including everyone, because this is something that affects everyone. This is something that can affect you personally, because you could be the one that be saving up to 6 lives. And you could be the one that might need a life-saving organ. So this is definitely something that everybody should be aware of. I really want to take this opportunity also to thank some of the people that made today's event possible. And Melinda isn't here today, but I had a lot of conversations with Melinda Cormier, and I know that she's on vacation today or something. And she certainly sent all her best to me, and I hope that we'd have a successful event, and yes, we did, Melinda. I also want to thank Stephanie for, and where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay. Thank you very much, Stephanie, for putting all this together. And I want to thank the mayor for walking with us. He's actually only the 3rd mayor that's walked. We had the mayor. Yep. We had the mayor from Watford that walked with us, and we had Mayor Robertson from Brampton. So you're in good company, and we're going to encourage more mayors to do the same. We're going to keep vocalizing that if the mayor from Richmond Hill and Watford and Brampton can walk, I think you guys, the rest of you guys can walk too. And we got 400 and, what was that number again? 48 mayors to go. So I also want to take this moment to also let you know why I'm doing this. 5 years ago, I was probably on my last day of living because I was rushed to the hospital with liver failure, and the doctors told me that it would be any day that I was going to pass away. And my last wish at that time was to, pass away at home. And they sent the supervisor. Now, the next day I got a call that there was an organ available, and let me tell you, I was one of the fortunate ones to get that call. I awoke after a 12-hour surgery, and I knew that I had a fighting chance to make it because I felt new life breathing into me. And anyone that's on the waiting list right now, I know what they're going through because your whole body is sick, your bones, your brain, everything. And I just want to let everybody know, don't let it affect your spirit, because the spirit can stay strong. And, I really had this feeling of also gratitude at that moment, and also a feeling of that, that night, a family was just faced a tragedy because they lost a loved one. And they made that courageous and selfish decision to donate their loved one's organs. And that's why I was around. That's why I had a fighting chance. And I needed to say thank you for that act. And at present, the only way we can do that is through a screened letter. And I'm pretty lousy at letter writing. So I needed to say thank you in a different way. And I didn't know how to sing or dance. So I couldn't do it that way. And I was greatly inspired by what Terry Fox did, as millions of other people were. And so 2 years later, I put a knapsack on my back and walked from Toronto to Ottawa in 12 days to say thank you. And last year, I walked 3,000 kilometers around the province of Ontario to say thank you. And before I did that, I had the great fortune to meet Daryl Fox. And that was a couple of years ago. His barber is my cousin. Most Italians are barbers. And he was telling Daryl what I was doing, and Daryl wanted to meet me. And since then, we've been meeting every week, and he wants to know everything I'm going through. Like, he wants to hear all the nitty-gritty details, the challenges, the hardships, the great feelings, and he's encouraging me to not give up, And he's also given me permission to call myself the Italian Terry Fox. And I hear all the nitty-gritty details, the challenges, the hardships, the great feelings, and he's encouraging me to not give up, And he's also given me permission to call myself the Italian Terry Fox. And I've been doing that with a lot of pride. In his great tradition that he left, we're really trying to leave a positive message with all Canadians so that we can respond to this. At Also at this opportunity, I want to greatly acknowledge the York Regional Police, who have just given us an excellent escort yesterday. You know, it's another great element that's making this work, because when we're getting these excellent escorts, you know, people driving by and walking by are stopping to find out what's going on, and we're leaving them with a positive food for thought, you know. And we're able to accomplish this because we have officers that care, and that's why at this moment right now I want to bring up one of the officers that was on the escort to share just a couple words and to just let you know his feeling about, you know, what he experienced today. So, Officer Paulo da Silva, if you can come up here.
My stutter is just because I don't have my media relations course. York Regional Police is, of course, honored to have participated in this event, and we look forward to working with you again later on in the week and bringing this particular cause to the forefront and making the public aware of how a great need that people need to donate. And I personally think it's a great cause. I don't think it's gotten enough exposure, and what we would like to do, myself and other officers that were on the route today, just try to bring it to the forefront later on this week and just kick it off on Friday with a real bang and get the public really aware of what's going on and the dire need that people really need to do is sign those organ donor cards and contribute as much as they can to this cause. I was personally touched as we were going by. We spent the last couple of hours going through, and I just feel that it's a wonderful, wonderful cause, and I wish you all the best. And anything that I can do and whatever your Regional Police can do to assist you, we will do our best to do.
Thanks. That's a lot of class. And I'm going to talk to the chief and let him know of all this enthusiasm, and we're really hoping that we'll continue getting his support. And also at this moment, I want to acknowledge my road crew, who make sure that I'm in one piece at the end of the day. And I actually was very sick about 2 weeks ago around the region of Chatham. I caught E. coli and I had a stomach flu, and I was without a driver for actually 6 days. You know, we're facing a tremendous financial challenge in our hands, and that's why we're trying to do as much fundraising as we can. So, you know, we can secure all these needed things in place, and if you know, make sure that we get this walk done. So, anyways, during that time, I was talking about, you know, what I was going through to a press conference in Chatham, and I had 3 young people that were there, and you know, they said, you know what, we'll help you out. And they've been with me ever since. Like, you know, they just dropped everything, and they've been with me. I'm calling them my hillbilly angels. And where's okay, you gotta come up here too, Rena. Want you all to come up here. Raphael, who's come on for a week. He's doing the camera work back there with the nice spiked haircut. And also we have a documentary crew, and it's Valeria Pugliese. She's a director and producer, and she's encouraging more young people to get involved. And I don't know if you wanted to say a couple of words at this time. Yeah? Okay. And she's been really instrumental in trying to get more youth to respond to this, and I'm sure she can tell you more.
Hi everybody. I'm feeling a little emotional today. I go through my days, you know. Yeah, I've been going from town to town with George, trying to encourage young people to come on board or to get more involved in this cause, because I find that it's hard to gain the attention of young people. And lately I find that we have so much support from adults, but the young people, they just don't know enough about it, so I think it's very important to try to make them aware and to talk to them about what's going on in Canada with the critical shortage. So I just wanted to tell you that, first of all, thank you so much for all your support. And second of all, please talk to as many young people as you can and tell them what's going on, because I know that they don't know. They really don't know anything about this cause. They don't know about the critical shortage. They don't even know about living donors. They don't know that it's really the family's decision, that if they sign their card, that really doesn't mean anything when they pass away if their family decides to veto it. So please talk to them and educate them. Thank you very much.
So with that, I think I took more time than I should. I apologize, but with that, I'll pass it back to Warren. Thank you very much.
Sometimes being MC is easier than others. Today it's easy. The next person that I'd like to call on to say a few words is our Director of Regional Dialysis Program and Chief of Nursing and Professional Practice Leader here at York Central Hospital, Ainsley Lee.
Thank you, Warren. I did prepare just a few notes here so I wouldn't, in my nervousness, forget to say some of the things I had thought about in the last few days. First of all, welcome and good afternoon, honored guests, friends, and family. And George, a special thank you for allowing York Central Hospital to participate in the Canada 500-Day Walk with you. The donation of organs, the gift of human life and future dreams, is one of the most precious in society today. It is a very private and personal decision, frequently required at a time when families and loved ones are faced with tragedy and with unfamiliar circumstances, the emergency room, the intensive care, foreign environments that they feel uncomfortable in. Today we had asked one of our recipient families to speak, and unfortunately they weren't able to be with us at the last moment. But Barb donated a kidney to her husband, Michael, and the process was very heartwarming, not only for themselves, but also for all the staff that were involved with them in our program. And I'm sure that Michael would have told you that the opportunity that he had and now has to lead a full life as a husband, father, and as a citizen without the encumbrance of dialysis interventions, I'm sure is like a dream come true to him. We can all identify with the recipient and the joy and the heartfelt gratitude of Barb and Michael's experience. But I want to tell you that I've had the opportunity and the privilege to have worked on the other side of organ donation, to work with families who have donated their loved ones' organs. And it's been a very rewarding opportunity for me to support them as they deal with a very uncomfortable, unexpected circumstance, to come to the understanding of what brain death means when we talk to them, even though they're viewing a person in front of them who has a heartbeat, is breathing with the help of a respirator, it just looks like they're asleep. And I think the most rewarding part of that is when they've come back afterwards and talked about what this donation meant to them, and how sometimes this opportunity has helped them immeasurably in their grief, and how they've clung to that knowledge that they have been able to provide life for someone that they didn't know. And I think that we would like to have the opportunity to give more families this experience, so that they too can receive a letter or hear, your loved one's heart has brought new life to a 50-year-old grandmother. Your liver has now brought life to a 35-year-old professional father. 2 dialysis patients are not going to dialysis for their treatment today because they've received a new kidney. 2 people are breathing on their own and comfortably because of the donation of your loved one's lungs. And we also hear and we also tell them about their corneas that have been donated and their contributions to the bone banks. And this is a wonderful opportunity, and people who are grieving put a lot of, are able to resolve their grief by knowing that their donation has allowed someone else to go on living. In the York Region Dialysis Program, we currently have 225 patients receiving dialysis. 37 of them are on the waiting list for a kidney transplant. And several of them have been on the waiting list for over 4 years, which is a long time to wait for that gift. By 2005, we will have approximately 500 patients. And if you do the mathematics, if things don't change, we'll have about 100 patients waiting for an organ. And wouldn't it be lovely if, because we were able to raise awareness and more people were able to contribute, both from a tragedy perspective, but also in terms of living donation, that we could decrease the number of patients on dialysis and have a few empty spots in our program, and we would just love that. In Ontario, the Premier has accepted the recommendation of the Advisory Board on Organ, Tissue and Donation, and has made a commitment to 3 major initiatives. One, a commitment towards moving towards a Canadian Central Registry for Organ Donors. In each of our provinces, we have separate organizations that look after the management of organ donor allocation. And for example, in the United States, they have one central registry. So that any patient in the United States who is in line to receive an organ is on that list. And we're hoping that with the support of Premier Harris and the Ontario government, that we would be able to have a similar system in Canada, so that we would make organ donation a more organized format in our country. Thank you very much, and again, as those before me have said, the most important thing for all of us is not only to sign our organ donor cards, but to talk about it with our family members, so that they're very clear and know what our wishes would be in the event that we have an opportunity to have our organs donated. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie, for very informative and well thought through words. I would now like to call on the neurologist at York Central Hospital, the chair of the hospital's organ donation committee, Dr. Harris Phillips. Thank you.
George, I would join you today in work, but believe it or not, I had a knee surgery this week, and unfortunately, if you came here 1 week earlier, definitely I would join you. Next year, for sure. About 10 years ago, in this institution, we formed the Organ Donation Committee. The purpose of this committee is to increase the awareness of the medical staff, the nursing staff, and in general, the public at large, in the need of the organ donation with the purpose of organ transplants. I just want to make clear that the transportation of organs can be from living people and from people who just died. From living people and from relatives, as you have heard, and from friends, providing that the tissues match. And the other ones, from the people who died, the cadaveric organs, are the most important for us because this is the great majority of the transplants. Our committee has prepared a protocol, it has prepared a manual, which is in all our critical units in the hospital, which outlines step by step the organ donation process. This is very important because everybody who dies is not, as you can understand, a candidate for organ donation. most of them are. We have to identify these potential donors. When they come to the emergency room, somebody after a serious car accident and the vital signs are absent, the studies have proved that more than 90% of the people in Ontario that were asked if they would consent to the donation of organs of their loved ones after death, the answer was yes. So why then we have so many people who wait now for the transportation and they don't have any donor to keep them either with better quality of life or keep them alive? One important reason for that is that we fail to ask for this consent. And we say we, I mean here in our hospital, medical staff, the nurses, in general the health providers. This is very important, and that's what we try to emphasize, that this is one of the main purposes of our committee. In the past few years, because of better surgical techniques, because of development of new drugs, immunosuppressants, the success rate of organ donation and organ transplants, I should say, is excellent. When you have success rate of 90 to 95%, this is perfect. Why then we see these organs being wasted? This is a very serious health issue and with enormous socio-economic repercussions. That's why I think that Ainsley mentioned what the provincial government comes now with new legislation to make any effort to increase the number of organ donations in the hospitals. Unfortunately, Ontario and Canada is in the bottom half, or much farther down, in the organ donation if compared with other countries. There is a lot of work to be done, and there is a lot of room for improvement. Events like this, and I would like to congratulate George for this effort, the new tariffs help a lot to increase this awareness even among the public at large. Our purpose and our duty is to do this within the hospital frame, among the doctors, among the nurses. Thank you very much.
Now I can give this back to him. He's finished his speech. Thank you, Dr. Phillips. As you were speaking, I reminded myself of something I read not too long ago about the changing demographics and the fact that as people are living longer, it's become even more important for them to have organ donations available to them. Next, I would like to introduce to you the lady whose government has taken the initiative, the MVP for Thornhill, Tina Molinar.
Good morning. George, I would have liked to be there walking with you as well this morning, but I have a standing commitment in my parish. I read at the 11:30 Mass, so although I was not there with you physically, certainly there in spirit and in prayer. I'm honored to be here today to join in all of us in celebrating the courage of our community leaders like George Marcello. As you've heard, our government is committed to building the awareness of donor by the year 2005 that the organ donation will be doubled what it is today, more so. And to see what you've done in motivating some of those young people, and I hope they will in turn motivate others. I think it's important. It starts certainly at that age. I want to just, for my own part, is say to you all to go back and encourage people to sign that organ donor card and make everyone know the importance of giving a life. And it was nice to hear Ainsley talk about when the families that have loved ones that have donated organs, what they feel. And it's almost like they live on through other people. And I think that is so important for people to realize that they're not giving something up, but what they're doing is giving life to someone else. And so on behalf of the Government of Ontario, I am honored to congratulate George Marcello in the recognition of your support of organ donation. Your efforts to raise awareness of the importance of organ donation will inspire individuals across Canada as you journey through their cities and towns on your Canada Day Walk 500. And it's signed by the Honourable Frank Lease, MPP for Oak Ridges. George, would you please come over?
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, George. Our last speaker is the person for whom this podium was built. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Bill Bell.
Thank you, Warren. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. George, you also inspire old people, I want to tell you that. I'm very proud to have joined in the walk today, and we had a great chat as we came up Baptist Street and along Major Mackenzie. And, you know, you've heard people talk about awareness, and I know that Canadians are very caring people. This is something they really don't think about. And if they do think about it without education, they maybe get turned off a little bit. And I think you've made great yards in overcoming that. And George actually gave me a proclamation, which I'm to take to council, and which I'll do with love. And, so you've heard all of it. I want to thank everybody who's listening to this. That's 20 to 25 people. Touching that Baptist there, and all over flame. So George, the message is getting across. You are creating awareness. I am the last speaker. There are goodies over here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mayor Bell. A couple of closing remarks, and again, thank you all for coming. And thank you, George. We will all be watching the future 400 or whatever number of days it is with great interest, and wish you well. Very pleased to be part of the walk here at York Central. George asked me to announce that there are posters which he has available, and he will sign and I guess give to you to take so you can promote the walk. Thank you again very much for coming, and the refreshments are there. Thank you very much.
So is that girl pregnant?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
So how many did you have?
It's pretty heavy, but then again.
Good God. It's Clint Eastwood. With a lot more hair.
I have autoimmune hepatitis.
Okay, and when did you get that diagnosis?
Approximately 3 years ago.
Okay, so can you expand on it? Tell me a little bit about how you felt when you found out, and how you have to go on the waiting list and all that, like the process.
Well, actually, I didn't know until I got pink eye, and my mom thought it was weird because it took a long time for it to go away, and she brought me for a medical, and they did a full medical on me, like a full physical, and when they checked my blood results were a bit awkward. And actually before that, I had went to a doctor and they had checked my platelet level, and it came back at about 66, I believe. And he said that was okay, or around that anyways. And I went to my own doctor, and that's when he did the physical, and he said something's wrong. And that's when they started checking up a bit more, and then they sort of diagnosed it as autoimmune hepatitis and a few other things. And then when they did a further analysis of it, it came back as autoimmune hepatitis.
So can you tell me a bit about how you felt when you found that out?
I didn't feel any way. It was more or less that, I guess, I didn't believe it because I looked fine from the outside, and the only thing that was wrong with me was my results. So it's sort of hard to kind of put it into perspective when you look fine, yet they're saying one thing and you are seeing something else. So I didn't really feel any way.
So can you tell me a bit about the process right now?
Right now, they had thought of putting me on the waiting list. However, they want to hold off a bit because I guess my medication is starting to help my results a bit. And I think 2 out of the 3 results are still the same. They still have normal, and the rest of them are improving very slowly. So they want to hold off a bit and wait to see what happens. I mean, eventually I'll probably still have to get a transplant, but for now, I don't need it.
That's good. So is this something that's common in a female of your age, or?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I would not know.
Okay, and what is it that you hope for in the future?
I hope that possibly I won't have to get a liver transplant. But if I do, that anybody who sees this, I mean, there's hope. I mean, I guess a living example. I started off pretty bad, and I mean, I got angry at times, and I came off the medication totally, and I guess my results went pretty low, and then I had to start all over again. But there's always a chance that it could improve, and even for the time being, I mean, you just have to kind of just look at it as something that you have to go through. And once you get through it, and I mean, wherever you may end up, it's not really that bad once you get through it. It's almost like you can almost be an example to someone else and kind of say, well, I've been through it, and I mean, at times it may be bad, but kind of look at it as maybe something that will make you stronger in the end process, I guess. So.
Right. Is there anything that you want to, any final thoughts that you want to add?
Just to be strong, I guess. That's about it. Don't make it get you down. Kind of just smile and know that there's other people who are going through the same